Financial modeling. You know, that phrase alone can sound pretty intimidating, right? But what if I told you it's not some dark art, that it's really just a powerful way of telling a story with numbers? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to prove it, so let's dive right in.
So can it? Can a simple spreadsheet, the kind of thing you might use for a to-do list, can it really predict the future of a business? The answer is absolutely yes, and we're about to see exactly how.
And look, we're not going to start with some crazy, complex corporation. Nope. We're going way back to basics with a business that absolutely everyone understands, the classic lemonade stand. This is going to make all the core concepts super, super clear.
Okay, so Section 1, the blank blueprint. Every great building project starts with a plan, a blueprint. For us, that blueprint is just a blank spreadsheet. Before we punch in a single number, we've got to lay out the structure.
And this right here, this is the secret sauce. This simple three-part structure is the foundation for pretty much every single financial model out there. Doesn't matter if it's our little lemonade stand or a multi-billion-dollar company, you've got your inputs, those are your guesses, you've got the calculations, that's the engine, and you've got the outputs, the final results. It's the universal blueprint, for real.
All right, so let's move on to phase 2. Now that we have our blueprint, it's time to gather all the raw materials, all the ingredients. And in the world of financial modeling, we just call those our inputs or our assumptions.
Now, this is super important. The input section is the only place we're going to be typing in raw numbers. Think of these as our best, most educated guesses about the business. By putting them all together in one spot, we're basically creating this cool little dashboard that lets us play around and test different scenarios later on.
Okay, so here are the inputs for our little lemonade stand. Let's see, we're guessing we can sell a cup for $2. Then we're forecasting our daily sales. Maybe, 40 cups a day in June. We hit a nice peak of 50 in July when it's hot, and then it drops a little to 45 in August. And each cup costs us about 50 cents to make. Oh, and see how the numbers are in blue? That's a classic pro tip in modeling. It's a visual cue that tells you, hey, these are the numbers you can play with.
And this right here brings us to what is probably the single most important rule in all of financial modeling. The golden rule, really. It's the no hard-coding rule. It's super simple. It just means you never, ever bury a raw number, like that $2, inside a formula. And why is that so important? Because if you follow this rule, you only have to change a number in one single spot, your input section, and the entire model updates instantly. It's magic. All right, we've got our blueprint, we've got our ingredients. Now for the really fun part. It's time to build the engine room. This is where all the logic and all the calculations are going to happen.
Okay, don't let the spreadsheet formulas intimidate you. Seriously. They're all based on really simple, plain English logic. The logic is just our revenue is the number of cups we sold times the price we charge for each cup. Simple, right? The formula you see on the right, well, that's just how we translate that sentence into spreadsheet speak. That's all it is.
So you probably noticed those dollar signs in the formula. What's up with those? Well, they are incredibly important. It's called an absolute reference, and it's basically a way to tell the spreadsheet to lock onto that one specific cell. So when we calculate our revenue for June, then July, then August, the formula always knows to point back to that one single price per cup cell. It's a key trick for building clean models that don't break.
And you can see how all these simple calculations start to form this logical chain, like dominoes falling. We start with the total cups we sold. That lets us figure out our total revenue. From there, we calculate our costs, what's often called the cost of goods sold, or just COGS. Each step just builds on the one before it, taking us all the way from the top-line sales down to the bottom line, our final net profit.
Okay, we've done the heavy lifting. We built the engine, and now we get to the magic. This is the moment our kind of boring static spreadsheet transforms into a dynamic tool that helps us make actual decisions.
So yeah, our model is officially built. Now let's put this thing to work. So let's ask our first big what-if question. Let's say we're feeling pretty confident about our lemonade. It's delicious. So what happens if we raise the price to $2.50? Now, think about it. In a normal spreadsheet, changing that would be a total pain. But in our model, all we have to do is change that one little blue number in our input section and boom, the entire model updates instantly. We get an answer right away, and that one small change boosts our total summer profit to almost $2,500. How cool is that? But hey, models aren't just for good news, right?
They're for stress testing. They're for managing risk. So what if disaster strikes? Let's imagine July is a total washout, just rain every single day, and our sales get cut in half, down to only 25 cups per day. What does that do to our bottom line?
And again, we just go back to our dashboard, change that one number, and we see the impact immediately. Our profit for the whole summer drops a lot, down to just over $1,400. But see, now we've actually put a number on our risk. We've quantified it. Now we can actually plan for a worst-case scenario.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? A financial model is basically a machine. It's a machine that takes your guesses, all your assumptions, and turns them into real, strategic decisions. It transforms uncertainty into a plan. And you know what's amazing? The thing we just built for a lemonade stand is built on the exact same core principles as the most complex models in the world. Seriously, the rules are always the same. Keep your inputs separate, build a logical engine, and use the outputs to make smarter decisions. That's the whole game.
So, there you have it. You now have the fundamental blueprint to build your very own financial model. The only question left is, what business idea will you model first? What dream are you going to bring to life, one cell at a time?